Eternity. Eternity. Well, good morning, everybody. Let's talk about eternity this morning, though I am 35 minutes later than I typically am on. Just a little bit late on this morning, but welcome to Morning Manna. Hope you are ready to join me with this morning's devotion. And we're going to get right into it in a moment after we greet a few people. Good morning, Angela. How are you? Oh, you have waited around for me. Thank you so much. Bless God for you. Hope you guys had a wonderful Turkey Day, a wonderful holiday weekend. Sean, how are you? Are you back from the cruise? Good morning, Diane. How are you? How is everything? Good morning, Ashton. How are you on this morning? How are my little play grandchildren? I hope they are well. Good to see you on this morning. Wavetta, how are you on this morning? What a wonderful morning. Look, I want to just ask you the question before we get into the word on this morning. How was your holiday weekend? How was Thanksgiving? Put it in the chat area. I made a comment. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you on this morning? Latendra, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Abram, how are you on this morning? Betty, how are you on this morning? Grand morning to you. Grand morning to you all. I made a comment on Thanksgiving Day worship service, and actually the Sunday before, that I'm from the South, North Carolina, and we do our greens differently than here in the Midwest. And here in the Midwest, we leave the greens in the pot liquor, as we would call it, and then we kind of pull it out of that and put it in there. I said, you know what? That ain't the way we do greens on the East Coast in North Carolina. We take it out, drain all of that off, chop them up, and maybe chop a little bit of meat or whatever that is in it, and put that in there. And oh my God, I thought there would be a what can I say, a revolt in the church. Everybody, what are you talking about? That ain't greens, that's a salad. Well, I don't know however your greens were, but I hope it was good. Hope you had a great holiday, a great Thanksgiving. And let's get into the word on this morning, and thank you for hanging in there. Actually, this word is connected to my tardiness. Eternity. Eternity. The text, the talk, and the takeaway, the revelation that you get, put it in the chat area. Share even now, because this word is going to bless you. This morning, I overslept. Can you believe that? But there is a time in life that you won't oversleep. Let me tell you the story, and I'll come back with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Saturday, I flew to New Jersey, out and back, because I was wanting to be with my first cousins, because my uncle, the last one in the generation of my parents, passed. And the homegoing service was Saturday in New Jersey, out and back. It reminded me of eternity. It reminded me of eternity. And guess what? You won't oversleep when it comes down to eternity. Here is the text. 1 Corinthians 15:52. 1 Corinthians 15:52. In a flash, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. And we will be changed. What is Paul talking about here in this famous text of the 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians? Paul uses, here's the first thing I want to share with you. He uses camp language. Camp language. What do you mean by that? When he says the trumpet will sound. During the times of the children of Israel wandering in 40 years of the wilderness, they would then be encamped in positional ways. The tribes will be positioned in certain ways. And to speak to and move 1.5 million people across the wilderness, they used a system of trumpets that would blow. The trumpet will blow for worship. The trumpet will blow to move here. The trumpet will blow to do this, that, and the other. So when Paul says this, that the twinkling of an eye at the last trump, The last trumpet. In other words, it's time to break camp. You've hit the snooze button. We're not going to blow this trumpet anymore. We're about to move out. In our walking and living, we have to remember there's going to be a trumpet that's going to sound. Here's the second thing. The second thing is when that trumpet sounds, the scripture says that the dead will be raised imperishable and we will be changed. Now, Philippians, Paul says in Philippians, to be out of the body is to be present with the Lord. In the book of Hebrews, it says that there is death and then there is the judgment that we go before God. What is all of that is saying? We have a soul versus spirit understanding. We talk about the soul, the soulish realm. But it is our spirit that lives forever. We refer to our soul living forever, but that comes as a result of how we use the word soul in Old Testament versus how we use the spirit in the New Testament and the language of the scriptures. In the Old Testament, we use the language of the Hebrews, and therefore the language is one way. In the New Testament, it is Greek, and therefore it is used another way. But in the holistic understanding of Scripture, our spirit and soul is one and the same. And therefore, our spirit lives eternally. And as the Scripture says, at the death, we are with the Lord, out of the body to be present with the Lord. Here's the third thing. We're going somewhere. Hold on. Let's get to the end of this. Eternity versus time. Are you living forever or for now? Are you living forever or for now? Here's what we want to share with you. When it comes down to our living, you won't be late, Bishop, and neither will you. You won't be late because time is determined by the clock and the alarm, but eternity goes on forever, and you won't miss that appointment. Being late for morning manna and being late for when the trumpet calls is two totally different things. So it brings me to the takeaway this morning. Are you ready? Are you ready? When I went to New Jersey to be with my family for the homegoing of my uncle, it was constantly in my mind. I have less years in front of me. So it always is a forever reminder now that I have to keep in front of me. Am I going to live forever or for now? Eternity. That's what we're living for. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. I'm going to be on time tomorrow morning. Thank you for being a part of Morning Manna. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.